Hey Toy Family, welcome to the Marsham Toy Hour, where we discuss anything and everything designer toys. We took last week off to go to Five Points Fest in New York City, but we're back, and I'm your host, Gary Ham.
I'm Carlos East.
And back with us is Teresa Hawkins.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Teresa was actually on just a few episodes ago, I think, Season 2, Episode 4, the Collector Series, so welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
Well, you're welcome. And essentially, the reason you're back is we're going to be talking a little Designer Toy Awards, 5 Points Fest, and you were there, and I was there, and
I was not there.
Carlos was not there. So Carlos can ask the non-attendee questions, you can cover the collector viewpoint, and I will cover a vendor viewpoint.
Nice.
And I think, I'm not sure, but I'm trying to get Teresa to be more of a regular on the show.
We'll see.
That's cool. Yeah, we need a girl on the show.
I totally agree. Way too much testosterone on this show.
Yeah, too much.
I've discovered she's very helpful on the prepping end. Carlos, George, you guys don't like to help with that? Yeah, Teresa and I hung out quite a bit at 5 Points, so I got to know her pretty well, and I think she would be a great addition to the show and would only make us better.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I would definitely love to. I'm a note taker. Gary and I get that. So.
Yep.
Nerds.
I like
Nerds. No, but you know what? I think it's nice to have a girl on the show because, for some reason I have the feeling that sometimes people think that this whole circle, like this industry, it's mainly men dominated.
A boys club.
Yeah, it's a boys club. But there's a lot of like girl collectors and artists and it's pretty cool. It's a good balance.
Yeah.
I agree.
I gotta represent the ladies out there.
And she also has a cute puppy.
Yes.
I do have a cute puppy.
A very cute miniature schnauzer, yeah.
Yeah, you and George have to step it up. Well, you have two kids, so that counts. George has to step it up. He needs a kid.
I got a golden retriever.
Oh, you do?
I'm a dog man. Yeah, I grew up with miniature schnauzers most of my life, and then I went golden retriever.
You have one now?
A golden retriever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had one for
How come I
6 years. I know.
See, I told you, Gary. No one knows you have a dog because you don't post it.
I will post more dog photos.
Yeah, make the dog promote the stuff. Put the
yeah. People love dogs, Gary. People will eat it right up.
Yeah.
All right, people. Be forewarned, my Instagram feed's going to blow up with some dog photos. I'm sure the listeners love hearing about our dogs, our adorable dogs, but I'm also thinking that they're probably going to want us to talk a little bit about our experience at 5 Points Fest, so we should probably talk about that and then roll into some leaks and sneak peeks that we saw there.
Sure. That works.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Well, before we get started on that, I just want to say it was a phenomenal event. I had just like the most amazing time. One of the coolest things about being there was just all the support that we received for the show. I mean, so many listeners stopped by with nothing but encouraging and kind words, and that was really great to hear because lately I've been having some doubts as to whether we should be continuing on, doing this show, and so that was great to see, to hear and meet all the listeners and stuff like that. And many brought really nice gifts, so you know who you are. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So I'm definitely feeling rejuvenated about doing the show. And another thing that was great was just meeting a lot of the guests that I have actually never met in person before. So there was, Jordan and Chris of Horrible Adorables, and yes, they are absolutely adorable in person, not horrible at all. And then, the lovely Teresa, who's on with us now, first time meeting her, and then got to meet my hero from Japan, Dada Dub, finally got to meet him, and then even Yaniv, who helped produce an episode a few weeks back, got to meet him. So it was just great meeting everyone. Very positive and incredible experience for myself, and I truly do feel I have made some new, long-lasting friendships, not just acquaintances, but people I'm going to be friends with for many years to come, and for that, I'm really grateful for the event for making happen.
That sounds like a good time, man.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Yeah, I completely agree, Gary. I had a great time too, because you never really know what it's going to be like first time show, and I got to meet a lot of people that were kind of East Coasters that I had known through Instagram, so that was pretty cool, and other artists I hadn't had a chance to meet, like you, Gary.
The highlight of your event, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it was just super, super fun. And I know we'll get into more detail, but I just felt like I had a really good chance to kind of hang out and talk to people and, meet different collectors and artists. And so I had a blast. I'm so glad I went.
That sounds awesome. And something that you mentioned, Gary, that it sounds really cool, that there's no need for Comic-Con anymore. We have,
No.
awesome convention here in the West Coast called DesignerCon, and now 5 Points. It's amazing. Like you can really be in the place where people actually care for what you do, and not just there for like the free stuff.
I completely agree. Like
pretty awesome.
Really, DesignerCon and 5 Points Fest are like perfectly spaced, but maybe 6 months from each other.
Yeah.
Covering both coasts. I really don't think there's any need for, if someone wants to still do like a San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con, fine. But I think really majority of us, all we have to do is just these two conventions. As far as stateside, you also have ToyCon and all the great conventions going on in Asia and whatnot. But just put 5 Points on the map now, because it was a phenomenal event. Congrats to Clutter and Left Field Media for the job they did. And I'm not just saying that because I was a guest. I really do. I'm sincere in saying that they put on a fabulous event. Like, I didn't know going in what to expect. I felt that it had great marketing and hype behind it from the event, and the vendors was fantastic, but I really didn't know what the turnout was going to be, like what the attendance was actually going to be. And I'm happy to report, like, the event was a huge success in my mind, and everyone that I spoke with, everyone was super excited, and everyone was happy to see one another, and there was so much support and just community building occurred there, and the attendance was phenomenal. It seemed like, Teresa, the aisles were pretty full at all times, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did the VIP, and so I wasn't really sure, like, how early to get there, were people going to line up, and so I didn't get there too early. I think that the doors open for VIP at 10, and I got there around 9:30, and I saw this group of people, and I thought, oh, that's got to be like the regular line, right? Like VIP didn't have a line, but it was the VIP line, and I was so surprised, like, oh my gosh, people totally showed up and waited in line ahead of time. Like, I wasn't expecting that, because I know, like, to your point, we didn't know how, what the turnout was going to be, and so that VIP hour felt busy. Like, it felt like there was tons of people going around, and then like the whole show, it never really felt empty at all. There was definitely people everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. It seemed pretty busy. And for most of the vendors I've talked to, they were all super pleased with the turnout and sales and all that good stuff. I'm sure with the case with any convention, there's always going to be someone who did not knock it out of the ballpark with sales. But I think even, let's say someone didn't, I think the event itself is just a huge success for the debut of the event. And I know for me, from my personal experience, I think it was probably one of, if not the most enjoyable convention experience I've had, from the after parties to the DTAs, just the whole weekend in general, and the company I kept. And I think there's a lot of hesitancy from people doing it this year, with it being their debut, that I can sort of see that maybe next year it's going to grow significantly in size, I think.
I hope they don't grow too fast, because, like, for example, DesignerCon has been there for like a few years now, and they've been growing exponentially lately. Yeah. But, I hope it's not one of those things that they overdo it the second year because they get too confident, too cocky. Yeah. And then it just bites them in the ass because it's going to be like empty, So yeah. I'm hoping it's okay to make it a little bit bigger because, there's a lot of people that were like, a little bit hesitant about the whole thing.
Yep.
But it sounds like, for all the images I saw and everything that I saw, that was there, like, the crowds look pretty. It looked pretty good, like a pretty good crowd. So I hope they don't go crazy and overdo it.
I don't think they will, but I think they'll have enough people that were hesitant. Now I think they'll be getting more probably West Coasters attending and whatnot, because they had a pretty good attendance of vendors they had some international vendors too, but I'm sure there was a lot of people, especially on the West Coast, that were probably hesitant about going out, that maybe previously had done New York Comic-Con, that I think might forego New York next year and just only do 5 Points. So it might not double, but I think it's going to definitely be bigger and better next year.
I hope that happens, because also it's kind of like, that Comic-Con kind of like treat us like the stink, little crowd, and they kind of like push us like more and more towards the back corner. So it's only natural that these kind of conventions come up because there's the need for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
hope
and I would even say, like, I agree with not wanting to get too big as well. Because, I mean, from my personal perspective, I'm never going to say no to more toy booths. So, I mean, definitely would love to see more. But, I mean,
Yeah.
with Designer Con, and obviously last year was my first year, so I don't have much of a comparison, but it was really, really big. And so I felt like over both days, I really had to like almost needed all that time to be able to go around and see all the different booths. Whereas at 5 Points, since it was a bit on the smaller side, there was less toys, but it also allowed me more time to kind of walk around and relax and stop and talk to people at booths without thinking in the back of my head, oh, I shouldn't talk too long because I'm going to go miss, seeing all that whole other building that I haven't even been to yet. So
Yeah.
I would definitely love to see it grow, and I definitely plan to go back next year as well. But I agree with maybe not trying to get too crazy with it so that people can still enjoy the experience of kind of hanging out and meeting people and all of that.
Yeah,
So
totally.
now, tell me something. Since you all went to DesignerCon last year, and that's the only point of reference that I have, how much smaller was it? Like, if you could put it in one of those exhibit halls in DesignerCon, how big would it be compared to that?
So you know how DesignerCon has kind of like the big hall area, and then this last year they added that separate building?
Yeah.
It almost seems like the booths from 5 Points for toys could have fit in that separate building, that smaller building.
Okay.
Because 5 Points was definitely a split, like half toy, half comic. And so obviously just from my personal interest, I was there for the toy booths. So I mean, it was definitely smaller. I don't even know the number of booths. I don't know if you remember, Gary, but
Yeah, no, I'm not really sure. But yeah, Carlos, another cool thing that was about the event too, that no con food. So like right when you walk outside the convention center, there's a courtyard. They had probably 4 to 6 food trucks there all day long. So you can get food anytime you wanted. It was actually really good food, and there was also a beer garden there too. So if you wanted to get a little light buzz going before going back into the convention, you can do that. And Clutter was serving their own special brew there as well. And I didn't partake in the beer garden myself, but I know a lot of people did. I ate at the food trucks twice daily. I can say that everything was excellent, and
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I loved the food trucks.
You like
they
the
were
empanadas.
fantastic. Yes, the empanadas, that Nuchas, I'm probably saying it wrong, that food truck. Oh my gosh. Well, I tried 3. I tried that one, Corilla, and the cheesesteak place, but the empanadas were my favorite. But just I completely agree. I loved the food trucks. They were right outside. So you could kind of step out of the building if you wanted a break, kind of hang out there. And I liked that they hung around for a while. It's not like that they were only there during like 11 to 2 or like, the lunch hour, so to speak. So it wasn't like, oh, I need to go grab food before they're gone. They were just kind of there the whole day, which was great. So I loved it. I was so glad that they had those, and it was good.
And I like food trucks. Most of the times they're quite affordable. You don't have to, do that expensive, crappy food,
Totally. Well, and it's part of like the New York experience, right? Like these were New York specific food trucks that more than likely would have been really difficult to find around the city. And so it's kind of like, it's just, I love trying food I wouldn't normally try. Like normally I'd have been like, I don't really know. Like, you were even saying you weren't even sure what an empanada was, Gary.
No, I never had one, but no.
It's like a meat pocket, right? But I was like, normally I'd be, oh no, like, I don't know what this thing is. But it's great to just be like, no, screw it. I'm just going to try it. And all of it was fantastic. So it's fun. It's fun to have little experiences like that kind of tucked into a convention where it's kind of like it's kind of the whole package, right? Not just about the booths, but it's about the experience around it too.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably talk about this for a long while. I mean, you guys can all tell them I was pretty jazzed and excited about the event, but we should probably move on to like leaks and sneak peeks. So, Teresa, since you were there when you're walking around, was there anything that you saw like a preview of that you're excited about that's going to be coming out soon?
Well, so obviously I pretty much stopped at every booth along the way. One of the booths that was pretty busy, especially the first day, was the Instinct toy booth, and it was really awesome to have them there. I think it was the first time they had come over to the U.S. for any kind of event before. Could be wrong, but I think that was their first time. So like their whole table, their whole booth was kind of a display, right? Majority of it was stuff they were selling, but they had a couple things that were prototypes or stuff to come. And they obviously had the James Groman King Corpse coming out, Grayscale holding the girl in his hand. That one was pretty sweet. And then is it Kaiju Killer, I think? The big old guy.
Kaiju Killer, the thing was massive. Yeah, super detailed.
It was. And I think it was so heavy that the arms, so like there's arms that they could stick on the side, but I think it was so heavy they kind of had to lay the arms kind of on the table, so they have to lift them up to hold them so you could see the whole thing. But that thing was huge. That was like twice the size of King Corpse. It was massive.
At least, yeah.
My favorite Instinct toy that's coming in the future is they made those Erosion Mollies, which is kind of like a hybrid between like their Melty Liquid figures and then Molly made by Kenny's work.
Molly head.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like a Melty dragon with a Molly head on it and a crown. And so they had the two larger ones they're selling, but they're also working on this like super cute tiny version in a sitting position. It's more like, I don't know, 4 inches tall. And that was a really cool preview to see that I think they said is coming out maybe in September timeframe. So I'm super excited to see that one come to life. And I'm really hoping that I'll have a chance to be able to try and get one that it's not like a convention exclusive type of thing.
You know, it's funny, when I'm walking around the convention, I know that you're a cute collector. So I'm like, Teresa would like that. Teresa would like that. Oh, she would definitely love that. So it was real obvious. So yeah, when I saw the mini Erosions, I totally knew that was something you would like.
The second you take something and shrink it down, immediately cutifies it by like 200%. So yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. And they had like I guess like a gray primed one. And then that like black liquidy finish they do. They had like a version like that where it was like a pure black, and I was like, oh, I just want to take this one home with me. But so that one was super, super cute. And surprisingly, James Groman at his booth also had some teasers for a gacha series he's working on with Toy Art Gallery. It's called the Fossil Pods line, and it's this really cute. Yeah. They're small, so small gachas, and it's like a dinosaur bug combination. And so I posted one photo on my Instagram, and I took photos of the others. I probably should post them, but like they have really cute names, and one's like a little T-Rex combined with a little bug, and he calls it Tyrannomantis. And I surprisingly, like, it's not really totally up my alley. Like, it's definitely not really cute, but I really like dinosaurs, and they kind of called to me. So
I was gonna say, that seems like something that would be like on the outlier of your cuteness ability. Yeah, they're small, but they're not necessarily cute. But
I know, I don't know why.
But tell me something. Are these the ones with the weapons in the back? Because I remember.
No.
You're talking about the BC blasters, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't remember those came out. I kind of like lost track of those.
They've been out for a little bit.
Did they?
Yeah.
I wanted one, but I missed it. But yeah, these ones look really cool.
Yeah, I mean, he had some of those, the blaster ones at his booth, so he might still have some to sell. But the gacha series are like teeny, like I don't know what, 2 inches tall. Like they're much smaller, but yeah, they're like a mini series.
Nice.
And I know, Gary, it's weird. Like it's definitely not my typical toy I'd buy, but I don't know. I think it's the dinosaur aspect, and I really liked the combination. So we'll see. I don't know.
I totally get it. I would say you and I are about 98% on like exactly what we collect and what appeals to us. So I find those very cute as well. In a larger size, they probably would not appeal to me. But at that size, there's something more adorable about it.
Right.
And so, yeah, I can relate.
Well, and not to sidetrack too much, but Super 7 had made those glow-in-the-dark figures. I don't know if one was like the Bat Boy, and I forget what the other two were. And I'd seen them teased on Instagram, but I thought, I don't know if I, want to make that a priority. But then when I walked past their booth and I saw it, literally one of the guys behind the booth laughed at me because I did this like giant O face of like excitement. Like, oh my God, because they were teeny, like 1 inch tall. And I lost it. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know those were going to be so small. And I bought one of them.
Oh, nice.
So it's immediately like shrinkifying things. I don't know what it is, but like it's like a magnet of attraction. I just can't resist.
Do you have like a collection of pencil toppers or something like that?
No.
No? Okay.
You should.
I mean, I won't lie. Like they're probably super cute pencil toppers out there. But I try to draw a line in the sand, Gary. I try not to go too crazy.
All right. Maybe some finger puppets.
No
Very
finger
cool.
puppet.
No? Man.
No.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, you got to hit like the $3 section at Target. There's some good stuff in there.
What do you
Yeah.
mean finger puppets? Like
Yeah.
like plushies or toys?
No, like little vinyl finger puppets. Like I picked up some from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer like last year during the Christmas season. You go to Target and they're like their stocking stuffer section. There's little finger puppets, mommy daddy finger puppets for the Rudolph the Red-Nosed. It's so cute though. I bought like 2 or 3 packs of those.
Gary, I really don't need more things to put on the list.
Well,
I mean, I'll have to look them up. That's never a thing I've really looked into. The only thing, okay, there's like a weird, so like the little like mini blind bags for kids, like the $2 cheapy
Yeah.
type stuff.
Yep.
There's only one. So the giant Hatchimal egg, they made like a mini blind bag version of it. It's like a teeny little egg, and you're supposed to heat up the little heart on it with your thumb so you can break the shell and like release the little toy inside. And while I know it's probably the crappiest little plastic toy, I have been hunting for those darn things just so I can try to hatch that stupid little egg and see what it's like. And I can't find them anywhere. But
even in Kentucky, you can't find them in Kentucky?
I'm saying I've checked Walgreens, Target.
Man.
If you find a little Hatchimal blind bag in Phoenix, ship one my way.
Yeah, the kids and I will go on a little hunt this weekend. I don't believe they're that hard to find, but I've never looked for them either.
I mean, it's
Which-
very possible they're just either hidden or not here yet, but I don't know.
Okay.
But the little ones?
Yeah, they're like little teeny eggs. Like,
I worked on those. I did all the paint for those prototypes.
Wow.
the little mini Hatchimal eggs?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I painted all of those. Well, not all of them, most of them.
I like how Teresa's voice goes up like 3 octaves. oh,
Gosh.
They were pretty cool. But dude, I remember cleaning those up, like the 3D prints. Oh my god, they was such a pain in the butt because they're so tiny.
Yeah.
So you have to sand them and like take all the the build lines and then paint them, and oh my god, it was a nightmare. But they were fun.
I can't believe you did that. That's crazy. Small.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then Teresa, your challenge of so here's what's gonna happen now because I love a good hunt. Like I just like making people happy. So if my brother tells me he's looking for something, or you, Teresa, or Carlos, like I want to find that thing for you and put a smile on your face. So I have a Walgreens down the street from me. I can see myself hopping in my car tonight and going and seeing if they have any. Or
Yes.
I'll probably drive around Target all weekend, looking for this stuff. So that's just how I work. I enjoy the hunt. I enjoy the hunt probably more and just making people happy more than actually collecting itself.
Gary, you and I, yes.
Yeah.
I love that. My favorite part, like I love helping people try to find stuff.
Yeah,
Even if
exactly.
it's not for me. Like
Yep.
people will post in the Kid Robot Buy Sell Trade group on Facebook and be like, trying to find this figure. And I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yep.
Let's go see if I can find it. It's just fun. It's fun to hunt for stuff.
We're 2 peas in a pod, Teresa.
We are. You are
Oh.
my, I don't know, peanut butter to my jelly.
There you go. All right. So what else did you saw? You were telling me something about you saw from Tokidoki. Simone was telling you something.
Yeah, so I didn't actually see anything. This wasn't like any prototypes or whatnot there. But one of the cool things that they did at the event was free signings. And so all you had to do was get a ticket and wait in line. And I waited in line for like, I don't even know how long. Was it like an hour and a half for?
I don't know, but I remember I would walk by you and then
And I'm
walk
still
back,
there.
and you're still there. Yeah.
It was a really long line, but totally worth it. So Simone was sketching and signing and doing all this stuff. And so he was being super patient and taking his time with every person in line, which was great. But when I went up there, of course, like I'd been waiting in line for like an hour and a half. And then I get up there and my mind goes blank and I don't even know what I want to ask him to sketch. But recently they released a rainforest print and then like a new series of bags and totes with that print on it. And my friend and collector, Mandy Farrell on Instagram had posted like a zoomed in portion of that print that showed like a Fruit Loop like cereal that was named Toki Pops. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's super cute. And I was blanking and that popped in my mind. And so I just said, how about you doodle Toki Pops for me? And so as he was sketching it, I was talking about how cute it was and how my friend had found it in this print. And then he started to tell me that that particular character, as well as some others in the Rainforest print, are actually going to be made into a new Tokidoki series. It's kind of like a spin-off of Mufia, but it's going to be breakfast-themed items like cereals and juices and stuff like that. And actually, after the fact, I looked in, there's like an orange juice character in that print and some other stuff like that. So that got me really excited. I don't really know like when it's coming or all of that, but it sounded super cute, and so I'm super excited to see that one come to life.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Everything he does, he's got like the Midas touch, that guy.
I know.
Yeah.
It was, and he was super, super nice. I was so happy. And then, of course, I waited in line the whole time. I forget to take a picture with him until the next day. I had to go and get
He's
my
the nicest.
picture.
He's the nicest.
Super nice.
Carlos, he was literally doing a sketch for every single person. So
I bet. You know, we all. I mean, it's crazy because we all are everything. You know, for our fans. If nobody buys what we make, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't transcend. So him being super nice, he's super cool. I've seen him like in a bunch of conventions overseas, and he's always super personable.
Yep.
In Asia, they go nuts for him, and those lines go crazy. Like I said, and he's got like a really good team. That's also like something very important. Like he's got like a very, very good, team behind him, supporting him.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have been nicer. So his signing was at the Clutter booth an hour before mine, and then it kind of went into Jeff Lamb and I we were to sign next. But Simone, he sat there and sketched for the entire hour that we were there too, for all the other people that were still waiting in line for him. And you've made it when you have a stack. He's got his own like sketch pad with all of his characters, like a vignette all the way around the sketch pad. So it was pretty awesome just watching him and how gracious his fans are and how happy he made all of them. Because from the kids to the adults, I mean, he was drawing unicornos and robots. And so the fact that he sat there for maybe 2 or 3 hours just sketching for every single person. And that's why the event was so great. It's like, I feel like it really just made everyone happy and like all about building the community. And so Simone doing that just only helped, grow the community and make people appreciate what we do even more.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he did it 2 days in a row. So, the fact that like we were waiting in line and I kept asking so we were talking to the volunteers and stuff, and I was like, I think I got in line or like 12:15, and he was supposed to sign till 1. It was getting to like 12:50, and I asked the volunteer, I'm like, I've been waiting in line for this while. Like, are they going to cut us off at 1? Like, like if I've been waiting for not? And she's like, well, let me go ahead and double check. And then they're like, no, he's agreed that anyone in line right now, he will get to. And I was like, that's so, so nice. So like, it was completely like, I had no qualms at all for the fact that I waited for however long I waited. And plus, back to the community thing, I talked to everyone in line around me. I actually met this father was there with his son, and they didn't really know much about toys. And so we were talking about, what they like and different toys out there that I thought that they might be into. So it was just super fun. Like just waiting in line, talking was even fun.
I feel like you got to know every single person there.
I don't think I got to know every single person.
50%.
But I definitely, it was just, I don't know, you just felt good. Like at DCon, I felt like I was a little bit more like running around and just trying to make sure I got what I wanted and saw every booth. And I didn't really feel like I had a ton of time to necessarily talk a whole lot.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like I felt like at this event, like in the beginning, I kind of got everything I wanted. And the rest of the time, I kind of just got to, hang out and like, I don't know, it was great.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what about you, Gary, as a vendor? What was your experience in the show? Like, what are the highlights for the show for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I touched on most of it, but and the attendance was great. The overall atmosphere, the positivity, like I already mentioned, the community building, like it just felt like a good, positive event. I think it was probably because of the podcast, but I know a lot of people would show up to our booth, and I think many people felt they kind of already knew me a little bit, so I was a little more approachable, and, we did a lot of chit-chatting, and even though the event was busy, I think there was still plenty of time for vendors to mingle and socialize with other vendors and whatnot, and I think the hours were pretty decent, but I think for most part, So the hours on Saturday was from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. And I think most vendors probably would have preferred a wrap up time of around 6 or 7 p.m. would have been good because there was an after party for us all to go to. And I think staying up open that late probably prevented a lot of people from going to the event because they might have gone to dinner with friends at a different venue before heading to the after party and maybe just didn't make it there. And so, but the 10 a.m. open time was totally great. That was late enough for us to kind of take our time getting in. You can grab breakfast or sleep in a little bit and kind of just waltz in. And that 10 a.m. time was the 1 hour early before the public opening. So that was when the VIP pass holders were getting in. And most of the VIP pass holders, as you know, rush to the Sofubi booths or, where a lot of the super hot exclusive items are. So our booth was pretty low-key for the first hour. We did get some sales, but it wasn't like we were getting like a mad rush. So that first hour was pretty low-key for us, and I think it was for most people. So I think overall it was a pretty great event. The only another downside I thought was we had to pay for electricity. And I've done probably 3 or 4 conventions now, and that was the first time we've actually had to pay for electricity. It was a couple $100, so that was a little disappointing, but I'm sure that had nothing to do with. It probably had something to do with the venue and the union or something like that. So, I mean, I understand it, but it kind of sucked having to pay for electricity and to charge our phones and stuff like that. But as part talking about our phones, the reception was excellent. Never had any problem with reception and credit card swiping on our swipes and all that stuff.
Awesome.
So, overall, great event.
And
I mean,
I think.
go ahead, Carlos.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, like, since you mentioned the rotocasting, dude, I think that was genius. Because it's one of those things that, we know processes and all that stuff, but for the people, like the regular civilians, it's kind of like a showstopper to see, like, oh, so this is how they make, like, toys. This is the famous rotocasting.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you could go there, choose the color you wanted, and you were there mixing it.
Yep.
And, it was fantastic. I thought it was, like, super, super awesome. It's like, it's a thing that we all should try to do, like, because it's hard to get people's attention, and maybe it's not just for them to buy your stuff, but also to get to chat with you and see something fun. It's like a show and tell.
Yeah, Ryan was great at that. The people that would stop by, Ryan was.
He's very knowledgeable.
He's very knowledgeable, but he's also really excited to teach people stuff. So what he does makes it look really easy, but like he was telling me like it was actually probably one of the most complex molds he's ever made for Logan, and just so, but he would like let some people like actually kind of spin the molds and stuff like that, and he did a really great job of explaining what was going on and the process and why he does it and all this stuff. So that was great. And I know Clutter posted a process video, I think on Instagram. That thing was getting like 50,000 views. So I think Ryan was saying, I'm sure there's going to be a large run on people trying to buy, vintage rotocasting machines from auctions and stuff. But Ryan makes it look easy. Like it looks effortless.
Like the balancing the thing so it does it right. It's tricky, dude.
Well, both Teresa and we both got to try to pull Logan out of the actual mold, and so
I saw that. And I was thinking like, oh man, should have like just do like a little little split and then box it or whatever. But it was pretty cool. Like it seemed that it was very, very hard to.
Like I felt like my thumbs were gonna snap in half. And Ryan is maybe 6 foot, I don't know, 2 or 6'4".
He's a big dude.
Giant gorilla hands, and he can, he can really stretch the molds and get it to pop out. But I had a real tough time doing it. I can't imagine how he did it for 2 days.
I know. Well, and like you said, like along with just being able to watch the process, which I thought was really cool. Like I know probably more than, like I generally know about the process of making toys, but be able to go there and kind of watch it. And like I filmed little versions of my stuff being made and posted to Instagram stories and stuff. And like, I really appreciated his willingness to let me just ask a bunch of questions and hang out. And he never once seemed to mind at all people asking questions and talking about the process and all of that. So it was super cool for me just to be a part of like actually watching one of the toys I bought, being made on site and taking it home. So
Yeah.
I loved the concept of on-site toy making. I would totally love to see more of it. Because I was even asking him too, like, from what I've heard, like, resin can be kind of toxic, so to speak. Like, it can kind of, when the reactions are happening, almost steam or release chemicals that you shouldn't even be near. So I was even asking him that, like, should we be like standing here? But
I know.
But like it was cool him talking about how resins can differ, and that's why he chose this particular resin, because it doesn't have as much of those qualities as long as you're in a well vented area, which we were in like that large space. So I would totally love to see more of it. It was super, super fun.
Yeah, no, it was really cool, and a lot of people seem to enjoy it. And I want to let people know that Ryan Rutherford, the guy who was casting and doing all this on location, I mean, he's an ultimate professional. I mean, he really knows his stuff. He's a professor of materials and all this good stuff. So, and he, for all the safety police out there, he contacted Smooth On and talked to them about what's the best product and any safety concerns, and they informed him that no, in a room that size, and the number of ounces that you're mixing together, it's just not a concern. No safety issues. And we ran it by 5 Points Fest, and plus our booth was by the door, to the outside, and if you were standing in our booth, there was no sense of any odors or like that. So it was a very safe environment. But for anyone who did see the videos, I don't want you to think that, he wasn't wearing a mask. I'm just gonna go do this in my unventilated bathroom and not wear a mask. So please, wear a mask, protect yourselves, do it right. But in this environment, it was safe.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of those the Moldomatic. What do they call the Moldomatic? The
Moldoramas?
The ones they have one at Roto Fuji.
Yeah, the Moldoramas. But yeah, it was nothing like that though.
No. Feeling of it, like the feeling of you get something and it's being made in front of you. The whole.
Yeah, that was cool because you're actually when it comes out of the Brotocaster, it's still warm. It's still warm resin,
right.
And it.
Yeah, because it's still curing. And you have to set it aside so it doesn't,
And he did such a good job. It feels like vinyl. It looks like vinyl, and it's. Yeah,
oh yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and like he totally had the process down pat, like of how to transfer through stuff, and like the fact that within 15 minutes you have this thing. Like you think about like when you go travel, there's like different souvenirs, shot glasses and postcards or like penny presses or whatever. It was kind of like that, like almost like make your own souvenir, but toy edition. It was great. I had so much fun just hanging out and like filming and talking to him and watch the little pile grow, and it was great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Now you mentioned souvenirs. Now I've done 2 pennants so far. I thought pennants were gonna be.
I loved your pennant.
I know, but here's what I'm saying. So I did a Marchand pennant and a 5 Points pennant, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing pennants anymore because I don't think there's a market for it yet. Like I think they're fun. I love them, but I don't think the buying public is quite ready for pennants yet.
You think it's the pennant? It's like
well, it can't be.
I loved it. Well, I mean, I loved it because for me, obviously being a VIP, got the exclusive dunny and got the full set, so I could have it. So there was that tie-in because it had your, the exclusive dunny on it with a design tied into that with the event name. And so that was, I guess, partially the draw for me. And plus, like it's like a little thing to remember the event. Exactly. I don't know, it was cute. I liked it. I'm probably gonna like hang it at work on my cube or something like that. I liked it personally. I kind of was surprised that more people weren't into it.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you have to see in person.
Well, that's the thing is you could see both of them there at 5 Points Fest, and it just wasn't a draw. And I don't know. I think personally, if you put it behind your collection, it ties everything nicely together. And I thought I only had 25 of the 5 Points ones made. And I thought with it being like the debut of 5 Points Fest, it had the date on there, it had the exclusive dunny that I for some reason thought it would have sold, but we really didn't sell that many.
I wasn't the only one who bought it, was I?
No.
Okay.
I think maybe 2 other people.
Man, because I completely agree. It's perfect to display with the dunny set, and like, I know a few people were asking about other stuff like magnets or stickers or pins, stickers and pins are obviously like a more in thing. So maybe, I don't know, maybe something like that would have done better. But I don't know. I can be a crazy few who liked it. That's fine. I can be one of 3 who own the 5 Points Gary Ham pennant.
You own something unique. That's right.
Nice.
But anyone who wants the 5 Points pennant, or anything that I had at 5 Points, I now have everything up and available in my online store, superham.com. So there'll be the pennant, there will be the OG Whooper, the Fatty Whooper, and several colorways of the Logan that we had going on there. So head on over to superham.com and pick something up. Another cool thing that was at the event was they did an early pre-release of the DTA Dunny series. Anyone who doesn't know, that stands for Designer Toy Awards Dunny series, and that's actually scheduled to release to the general public June 2nd. So anyone who went to the event got the early opportunity to purchase the blind boxes. And I saw a bunch of them at the event. We signed a bunch of them, and so anyone who doesn't know, there was 5 artists in that series, and all the artists involved were handpicked by Clutter, and none of them have ever had the opportunity to do a Dunny before. So I think that was really cool. It's also very cool that you're able to purchase that early at the event. I thought that was really neat. And also there was another Dunny there. It was the 5 Points Dunny as well, and I got to design that. There was 3 total colorways. Anyone who missed out on going to the event, right now, if you go to Clutter Magazine's online toy store, you can purchase the 5 Points Dunnies as well as some other remaining items they had from the event. So there was 3 colorways. There was the OG, and there was a black, red, and white colorway, and then there was also a kind of like a yellow goldish colorway that was only available for the VIP pass holders, and they got in their VIP swag bags. So that one's pretty rare.
How were the swag bags?
I didn't get one, but Teresa, you got one, right?
Yeah.
Well, so I was actually kind of disappointed with the VIP swag bags. So, I don't know if you all realize, but the ticket cost for VIP was decently pricey. So, base tickets were what, $30-$40, Gary, something like that.
Yeah, $30 to get in.
The $30 were for the one day or for 2 days?
Yeah, so for one day on Saturday, it was $35. Sunday was $30. But if you wanted to do both days, I think it was $45.
But VIP was, they had bumped it up to $125. And actually, after all was said and done with taxes and fees and everything, it was a $140 ticket. And so it was kind of I actually debated a while, should I go VIP or not? And should I save this money to spend on toys, or am I going to regret it? And so a week before, I had been emailing some of the people with the event and asking will you allow ticket switches? And I thought, you know what, if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it. I don't want to be that person who doesn't get VIP and then I walk in an hour later and don't get the toy I want. That will devastate me. So I thought, you know what, let's just do it. So, but for a $140 ticket, it's a lot. And so you're thinking, okay, I hope I'm going to get enough out of this. And so, they had the early entry, which was huge. And then obviously the entry into the DTAs and then the Saturday night event. But they also had this swag bag. And so I thought, okay, maybe there's going to, along with the exclusive Dunny, maybe there's going to be a cool free event t-shirt or I don't know, something specific to VIPs that again, only VIPs would get. But it was, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing. Other than the Dunny, most of the stuff in the bag was stuff I had already seen before, or I knew it was stuff that probably didn't probably leftover stuff sitting in a stock room maybe that kind of needs to be clear out. And so I don't know, it's just I was hoping for more. I was hoping that we'd kind of get a little bit something extra, more than just kind of the Dunny and just some stuff.
A little
I don't know,
thought to it, because if they're hyping it up swag bag, and they're
right,
a bunch of stuff that they haven't been able to sell in Kid Robot or what have you. So it's kind of a letdown. It's right, it's not the amount of stuff, but the quality and thought of it,
Right, I would have much rather had 3 cool quality items than the bag we got, because it had a program in there and some New York stuff. They had a little card to go get a free coffee or tea at a local place, and then a black and white cookie, which are delicious, by the way. And then the toy stuff was an Odd Ones blind box and the new Labbit Band series blind box, and then one of those old street dancer plastic pink and blue guys. So
the army,
the breakdancer series.
Right, the breakdancers.
The army guys.
So it was just fine, but it's kind of just more stuff, right? And none of it was special, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So
Well, don't be disappointed, but I heard in next year's VIP swag bag, there's going to be a 5 points pennant and a Marsham Toy Hour pennant.
Wow, that makes a difference, man. They should have done that.
So yeah, the only thing I would say, like, because it's not, like I said, not at all that I regret VIP, and I felt like I got benefit from it, but like whether it's adjusting the swag bag or maybe reducing the price a bit just so it's not such a hard hit from a money perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right thing is, but
yeah, I don't know what you do either, because if it's significantly less, a lot more people are going to be buying it, and then the early entrance line is going to be huge, and it's not that exclusive of a thing. But because you got into the Designer Toy Award event, you and I might not have hung out all weekend. So
I initiated.
You got your money's worth.
Yeah, it was worth it. No, yeah. I mean, I did VIP for Designer Con, and it was like only like a, I don't know, $15, $20 difference. So like, I didn't even think twice. I was like, yeah, why not? Yeah. Now, the VIP for Designer Con was a little bit different. You did I get early entry? I don't know I can't remember actually if I got any entry, but you got like the ability to go to like panels and like the after party and stuff. And I didn't really use it a ton. I tried going to the panels, and it wasn't really for me, and I'd rather just kind of be out and about in the show and kind of talking to people at booths and stuff. But like, it didn't feel like as hard of a hit, so like I didn't mind. So I don't know if there's like a happy medium or what, but
yeah. I have heard of the exclusive Dunnies flipping for about $125. So
Jesus.
If you wanted to, you could kind of get your money back almost.
No, I will never flip that Dunny. All mine. You know I'm not a flipper. That's like
I know you're not, but
now's the time. Next week, I don't know.
No, I will totally not. That thing is already open, sitting with the other two. It is no.
Oh, you got the other two as well?
Well, yeah.
So you got the complete set?
Well, yeah. Hello.
Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, well, between the 5 points Dunnies, I of course had to get the complete set because why not? But like back to the DTA Dunnies, I loved the fact that they did a pre-release so that I could kind of spec out and see what they looked like in person. And I know that they were doing some fun little unboxings on like Facebook Live and stuff. So that was a fun part of the event too, getting to see all the different Dunnies ahead of time.
That was my first time getting to see a lot of the Dunnies from the DTA series, and they look great. So
nice. Do it.
Do you not see and approve those ahead of time? How does that work?
Just photos.
Yeah, just like factory photos and stuff like that. So no, I never actually got to see one in hand. Like, the first time I ever got to see one in hand was at the event. Like, someone who bought one shows up at our booth and says, "Here." So that was
cool.
really the first time I got to see a lot of them. And yeah, so it was cool. So and they look really good in person. It's always a little scary when you see something in 2D form and how it's going to translate. And I know, like, and Carlos, you can back me up on this. When you approve something by photos, the colors from a photo is always maybe a little oversaturated or this and that. So,
or like a little bit dull.
Yeah, and also from photos too, is like you're looking at a 3-inch Dunny, but you're opening it up on your monitor and it fills your entire monitor.
Oh, geez.
So, like, you're seeing it in a gigantic scale where you're seeing like every single blemish, every single smear and overspray and stuff like that. So it's real hard to not be nitpicky.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because sometimes those things, when you have the 3-inch piece, you don't even see it because it's so tiny. But when you zoom it, you're like, oh my god, this looks
right.
Exactly. So
that's crazy.
But once you see it in hand, like, all that sort of stuff goes away for the most part. Like, all those blemishes that you saw at large scale, you hardly noticeable to the naked eye when holding it in person. So I gotta say, they all look fantastic, and congratulations to Clutter and Kid Robot on another great series.
Yeah, amazing.
That was awesome. I have to say, Gary, the umbrella. Do you have a name for your umbrella guy? Does he have
he's Ty Rainey-saurus Rex.
Oh, cute. Okay, well that makes it even better. But like that one surprised me. Like I was so happy someone pulled it, and he was at your booth, kind of hanging out with your Logans. And I'd always known Hermes and your Stag and all of that, so like those were instant favorites. But that one really surprised me. It's really nice. The color palette and the design. So that's such a cute name.
Well, thank you. I like a little play on words.
They should put those on the box. Like the character names.
I think they are on the box.
Just your name is. Like it'll have the dunnies and the ratios, and then it says like made by Gary Ham, the bots. I don't think the actual character because they don't have any
There's no like sticker
there's
inside.
no
or anything
there's
that...
no like sticker or
Okay.
like yeah.
Well, it's Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Cute.
All right, let's move on. So we should probably mention some of our sponsors. Actually, we met one of our sponsors there for the first time too, Corey over at Strange Cat Toys. Real cool guy. And so if you want to purchase any designer toys, head on over to strangecattoys.com. Be sure to use promo code MARSHAM at checkout, and you'll receive 10% off your order. And for all your designer toy needs as well, there's also 3dretro.com. And 3D Retro also has a beautiful brick-and-mortar location out there in Burbank, California. And we have printonwood.com. So if you're an artist or photographer, and if you ever wanted to have your artwork printed on beautiful, sustainable wood, well, then we got just the people for you. Head on over to printonwood.com, and they will take great care of you. Tell them Marsham sent you. All right, let's get back to it. And so, well, talking about 5 points. So, Teresa, you were there muling for several people. Now, I know a lot of people wanted a bunch of different things, and then I know how muling works. Someone finds out that you're muling something for one person, and then a friend comes along and says, hey, could you help me mule something? So you're too sweet and nice, and I think you were very accommodating to anyone who was contacting you. And so how does, as a muler, do you just... I know you're too nice. I bet you don't charge anything extra. You're like, I'm there. I'll pick it up for you. Just, and I'll mail it to you. But I sort of think that you should maybe charge some sort of surcharge for this sort of stuff, Teresa.
I don't know. I can't. So here's it. Like, okay, yeah. So I was very cautious to not like overly promote that I was going to this thing because yes, being the nice person that I am, I would have a very hard time turning people down. And there were already like a handful of people that like they had commented on one of your posts, like, oh my gosh, I can't go. So like I DM'd them and I'm like, I'm going to be there. Like I can grab that. No problem. And that was like small stuff, right? Like at first I was just saying like, the 5 points dunnies, no problem. Small little thing I can throw in the suitcase. I'm already going to that booth. But, obviously it kind of grew from there. And I'm more than happy to help. And it's hard too, because I've been there. I've been in that position where I'm sitting at home, silently crying, staring at my Instagram feed at all these things I want to be able to buy, but I can't. And so when I have the opportunity now to go and people want stuff, it's like, well, I've been there. I know what it's like to want someone to help, and I want to be able to be that person. And so, but it's also because it's also hard too, because what if one day I can't go to that event and I would, I'd love to get the same kind of treatment back.
Well,
it's hard
I
to know
hope someone would do the same for you.
But I don't know. Muling fees it feels so dirty. I don't like it. I don't know.
I know, but okay, so as an outsider, I've never paid someone to mule, but I think they should buy you at least lunch. You're standing in line for an hour for them. And that's okay. So it's not just the muling when you're at the event. You were telling me like one night you spent like hours like Tetris packing your luggage because you bought so much muling stuff for people, and that's another additional time. So you're going to after parties and stuff like that, and then you're staying at the event. You need to catch a plane, but you're spending an extra 1 to 2 hours trying to pack your stuff that you bought for others. You need to do something.
But see, I don't even know what would even be like the right. I don't know. Like I struggle with that because what do you even say? Like, oh, like give me an extra what? Like, what is even the appropriate thing?
It's almost like when you do shipping for, when I ship stuff, I had a problem in the past that, the shipping was $5 and I charged the guy $8. And when the package came to his house, he saw he was like, oh, I want my money. Like, hold on, dude. Do you think the box is free and the peanuts and the wrapping paper and the tape and my time to go take it? So, you could do, 15%. That sounds like an okay number, at least to cover your end, Like it's not like you're doing, what some people do, like just to make business out of it. You're actually doing it for being nice to help people out, but it's kind of like a two-way thing. You help them out, but they help you out. You cover a little bit of your cost. It took you time from work and money, et cetera, et cetera. So
you spent probably $1,000 to attend the event between hotel and flight, and so you're giving people a deal by being there and getting them the stuff. They're saving. Exactly. They're not spending any money. So
no, they're just sitting in their house. Not even, because that's the other thing is like they could buy it and pay shipping and wait, and you're securing the item. So. Now
I know what Teresa's saying. Like most of the stuff was fairly small. You could just toss it in between T-shirts and stuff, no big deal. But then when someone's asking, "Hey, can you stand in line for a James Groman King Corpse?" That is like a 10-inch, 12-inch toy.
Yeah,
that's a whole new ball game.
Yeah, it grew a little more than I expected, but the people who helped out was more than happy to help. I don't know. I'll have to noodle it. You know me. I'm probably still not going to do it because
15%. Just do it. 15%.
I don't know.
People are not going to complain. They're going to be grateful that you're hooking it up.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never be that person. Like, I'm never going to be like a person of, like 2 times the amount of the toy or any of that.
Too much.
Yeah. I'm just saying I would hope that anyone that you did mule for, I know you muled for a bunch of, several strangers that you never known before. It's different when you're doing it for friends and people that you're close with and, collector buddies. But with people that you don't know, I would hope that they would show, gratitude and, appreciate it. Maybe send you a Starbucks card or an Amazon card or something like that, something a little extra for what you did for them.
A thank you card.
There you go. Or even, a handwritten thank you card.
Yeah.
I promise I got plenty of thank yous. It was a good experience with everyone I did it for. So next time I'll probably not take on as much because I didn't realize how much I was going to acquire. But it's fine. It's more than fine. It was fun. I was more than happy to do it. I was already going to all the booths, getting all that stuff anyway.
Man, way too nice.
You know what? There's no such thing as too nice. It's fine.
Right.
But this is not an invitation for everyone in the tour world to reach out to me and have me help in that convention.
You're screwed.
Don't get ideas, guys and girls. Don't get ideas. Back off.
So there were other events besides 5 Points Fest. There was Designer Toy Awards, and then there was the after party. What should we talk about first?
You want to talk about after party since DTAs? We're probably going to be talking about all the results and stuff for a while.
Yeah. So the after party was. Okay, this is where Clutter knocked it out of the park for me. I am not a nightclub guy. I'm not a big loud party guy. I like to play games. I like to have fun. And they had the after party at a bowling alley in Times Square called Bowlmore. And the bowling alley was awesome. It had, so the event, 5 Points Fest, if you bought a VIP pass or, if you were just a regular attendee, it was like $20 to get in, which is, anyone who bowled know that's so cheap. But yeah, a bunch of themed bowling alleys, and we went and bowled for 4 or 5 games, and there was the Art of War going on there, where Simone Legno versus L'Amour Supreme. They were having their little art battle, and I heard that entire art battle was up for silent auction once they each painted on a canvas, and then it was up for silent auction after that for, I think, all proceeds were going to Planned Parenthood, I believe.
Yeah, and did you ever hear, Gary, what happened? Because I know at one point I had heard someone had bid like $2,000 on Simone's.
Yeah, and so that was the very first bid. I remember hearing that too, and I did read on Simone's Instagram that was saying that they raised $6,000 total, and all of that went to Planned Parenthood, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, Gary, the venue was, I completely agree, fantastic. Because I think, and we'll get to talking about DTAs and stuff, but when I went to and not to bash DesignerCon at all, but when I went to the DesignerCon after party, because again, I had gotten VIP, and so I got free access, so I figured I'd check it out. It was like a pure bar kind of setting. And so we were able to order kind of like from a select menu, and obviously there were drinks, which I'm kind of like you, Gary. Like I don't mind having a drink or two, but that's not really necessarily my thing. And then all they really had was they had Secret Wars going on, so the kind of the black and white battle. But like all you could really do is either watch that or kind of hang out. And they kind of had some music playing, but there wasn't really like anything to do per se, like from an activity perspective. And so like it was fun, it was okay, but like for me and like the kind of things I like, I didn't enjoy it as much just because I didn't really feel like I had a whole lot to do. Whereas like the 5 Points after party was like a complete 180 because the venue was kind of built in a way that there was still that aspect of people who are into watching the art battle, who want to drink and hang out. But then for those of us who wanted to have something else to do, there was the bowling and the arcade side. And so I loved it too, just because Times Square is kind of it's a part of New York, and I know some people kind of hate on it, but I personally love it, and kind of seeing that part of New York when you're visiting, it's just it's a part you should see. And I really enjoyed being able to like we got together and had a bowling team and played for a while, and then we went in the arcade and played the games there, which the arcade wasn't, I guess, as cool or vast as I think we were hoping. But
I don't know. Four-person Mario Kart was pretty awesome.
I know, and you beat me every time.
Damn right I did. I'm not gonna take it easy on you. And then
I almost beat you at the end, though.
And we were undefeated as a team in that Pac-Man air hockey.
Yes, so Carlos, there was this 2v2 air hockey machine. So two on one side, two on the other, and then like on the wall was this kind of like maze or chute where pucks could come out. It would start out with a single puck, and so you'd obviously play normal air hockey, and then at random times like 20 pucks would fall at once.
Wow.
And you're going crazy trying to like hit as many pucks into the other person's goal, and it's like scoring points and stuff. And I don't know if there was like a piece to it we didn't understand, Gary, because it seemed like it always ended really quick.
It did.
Like, I don't know if maybe there was like a timer and we were supposed to try to like finish getting all the pucks scored before it or not, but it was just fun because like you're playing normal and it gets really hectic and crazy and everyone's smacking pucks around.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And that, like, I'd never played that game before, so that was fun.
It was,
never heard of that one. I love the air hockey ones.
It was pretty spendy though, Carlos. So when you get in, you're giving a $5 card for the arcade, and that one game cost $5.
Really?
Yeah. So the arcade games were not cheap, but we played mainly Mario Kart and the hockey game.
Oh my gosh.
And then like they had a bar and everything, and then they had that ordering machine at our bowling lane.
Yep.
So we partook in. It was your idea. I'm glad you did it. I got that Pizookie.
I wasn't gonna back down on the Pizookie.
You know what Pizookie is, Carlos?
No.
It's a half-baked chocolate chip cookie with like 2 scoops of ice cream on top.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's good. So
Pizookie.
we ordered one for our team. Our team was myself and Teresa and Horrible Adorables and Yaniv and Yaniv's friend, and we got a pizza cookie. Team pizza cookie.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. I loved it.
I will say the event felt mostly attended by probably VIP pass holders, and just I didn't see too many of the vendors there, and I wonder if that was. I know a lot of the New Yorkers, they just I don't go into Midtown. I don't go near Times Square, so. Yeah.
That's what I said. Like I felt like there was a little bit of hate about the location of Times Square. And granted, I'm not a local, so maybe that's part of it. Like, I'm from Kentucky. I don't go to New York every day, so I like seeing, the touristy area, so to speak. The other thing I heard, Gary, I think people were just tired, like the long Saturday, and the fact that they had another day of events just made it kind of like, I'd rather just kind of go in and not have to like go out super late and.
Yeah, I think that was the case for a lot of people. And also, too, it's New York, so everything's sort of spread out. So unless you know the subway system, you're probably taking an Uber or a taxi somewhere, and that definitely tends to add up. You don't want to spend... Yeah, it's probably about a $40 round trip, for most people if they're not staying in Midtown. So, yeah, I mean, I can see where that happens. It's also New York, land of distractions, so lots of other things to see and do.
Yeah, I think New Yorkers... tend to avoid touristy areas.
Yep.
Like, the hell with tourists.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and I remember that you said that they closed the floor, the convention floor, a little bit later than usual. So
Yeah. Yep.
it must have been that just people tired, because the people, when you go to conventions, it's like it's crazy because you're talking, you have to be on, and it's exhausting. So I would understand why some people didn't want to go bowling, but it's cool.
Bowling. No, but no, it was like a great event. It was like just perfect for me. I'm not a go to happy hour kind of guy. I've never been one to just go and stand and drink and talk. And this, kind of what Teresa was saying. It's like you can go and partake in something and have fun and just bowl with people on video games. And it just really got everyone like in a different like mindset rather than just standing and making small talk. So that's like the ideal event for me.
It's fun. It's like you said, like there's more than just like standing there talking and drinking. It's like an activity.
So if I can, I don't know what DesignerCon's plans are. I am going to go out. I will organize some sort of event. Maybe I'll, book the local bowling alley or something like that. I definitely want to do that again. That was a lot of fun.
Gary, did you just commit to going to DesignerCon?
Yeah, did I hear right?
Okay, that was one thing at 5 Points Fest from majority of listeners. I've never gotten more crap about when you go to DesignerCon. You haven't gone to DesignerCon. And no, so I will actually say, I don't know if I'll be a vendor yet, but...
No, I recommend you to come.
I'm definitely coming.
You're going to attend?
To attend it. Experience.
I am going to right now commit that I will be there. And Carlos, I will be staying at your place.
Chamaco.
So Chamaco, move over.
Gary, please, if you organize a bowling thing, you have to let me know. I want to go.
I'll have you organize.
You're going to make me organize?
Yeah, because here's the thing about Teresa. Teresa will walk up to anybody and everybody and ask questions. She gets things done. So
you were being such a typical man. We were like, we were at the event and like there were a few confusing parts of like, could we merge tickets or I don't know. We were just trying to figure stuff out, and it's like just go up and ask people. Like that's what they're here for. And, just go up to the desk. Be like, hey, question. If they don't know the answer, you move on.
Yep.
To the next person, yeah.
We'll get it down. We can totally organize some kind of event.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. I'm sure DesignerCon's working. I'll talk to Ben and find out what's going on so we're not like competing with what they're doing. But I would definitely love to do something more fun like that again.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
like mini golf. Let's do mini golf.
Yes.
There's actually a bunch of really cool mini golfs out here.
Awesome.
And you know what?
It
doesn't have to be for the convention, but just get together a bunch of collectors and toy makers and friends and just go.
We will have a Marsham Toy Hour event. Hopefully it may be like a miniature golf, arcade setting, something fun. So I'll work on it. I'll do some research and see what we can do. There was one other event, the Designer Toy Awards. So it was held at a venue called Webster Hall. And it was hosted by Morgan Spurlock. He's a pretty famous documentarian, hilarious guy. He was mainly responsible for what you might know him from is Super Size Me, the documentary.
Yeah.
He did an excellent job as host of the event. He was great. And Teresa, what did you think about the actual venue of the event?
It was fine. So I've never been, obviously, to a DTAs before, so I don't really have any comparison of what the other venues have been like. The only thing that was a little bit frustrating for me, so that was like the first thing I went to. I literally came in to New York Friday afternoon, like got to my hotel, and then like went to the DTAs. And so like one of the things I was excited about is like the whole point of the DTAs and going as a collector is to try to talk to different artists and maybe some collectors and kind of hang out and meet people before the show. But like the way that the venue was set up, and it was kind of like there were kind of different rooms. Obviously you walk in and then they had kind of like the entry with the banner you could take pictures by, and then off one side was a bar to order drinks. But the main venue where they were doing the awards was kind of this closed door area, and it was super, super dark because they kind of had like the stage illuminated, and also it was really, really loud. And when I first walked in, it was I was kind of like, well, I don't even know like who's around me and like where to go, and I can't really hear too much, like, so I was kind of just hanging on the back for a while. I kind of wish it had been a little bit better of a setting where it wasn't so dark and loud, so we could kind of mingle and talk a little better. And I don't know if you got there a little earlier, Gary, and if it was better before it started, but I didn't get there till like the event had kind of already started. I got there after 7. So I pretty much got there and walked in, and the awards had already started. It wasn't bad. I was kind of watching for a while, and then I was looking for people I knew, and then you went up, Gary, to kind of present for one of the awards. And it's like, oh, Gary, okay, I'll have to go. Like, I kind of watched you walk back and figured out where you were at and kind of headed over there to say hi. But
stalker!
I'm not a stalker. If I hadn't
no,
done
I know
that,
what you mean.
Would we not have had the best weekend ever together?
Probably not. But, I mean, I know what you mean. So the event was kind of the same when I walked in. It was dark and very loud. You could, like, the only way you could talk to someone was pretty much to lean into their ear and talk into their ear. Like, or you had to shout. But yeah, because the small dark room was pretty much illuminated by the stage, like Carlos, you had to be sort of good at reading silhouettes. Is how you kind of found people. So, but no, I thought the event was, other than it being so loud and the inability to talk to people was really difficult, and the music played that loud throughout. I feel like even when the awards were being presented, am I right?
Yeah, and it was hard too because like you obviously wanted to listen to the awards, but you almost felt like you were scream talking to someone or listening, so you kind of had to balance that too.
Okay, I have to say, some people that went up to present knew how to talk into a mic, but most of the people,
right.
Carlos, you could not hear a word they were saying. Like they just had no idea how to talk into a mic, so
because they like fine. It's one of those things that I hear myself, so everybody should.
Right.
And then everyone in the crowd is yelling, "Talking to the mic!" And
that's painful. Yeah, I saw some photos, and I didn't know it was so. I didn't know it was so loud. But when the awards came out, I know like everybody's super swamped, but I haven't seen any announcements of who won. Not in Clutter, nowhere.
You really had to follow social media to find out. So you didn't watch the live feed or anything like that?
No, I didn't. But
we will list them off here. We had a Designer Toy Awards prediction pool, and Carlos and you and George too. Neither one of you partook, you slackers. Why didn't you partake?
On what?
In our prediction pool.
I want to be fair.
Oh, fair.
Do it.
All right.
You gotta participate.
I have to say that the night of the Designer Toy Awards was actually Huck G's birthday, and that guy was rocking a 3-piece suit. He looked like one of his characters.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But when I got up on stage to present, I got the crowd riled up to sing him happy birthday and embarrass him a little bit. So that was fun.
And Toy Chronicle Gary gave him that pink birthday sash.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So the first time he was up there, I think it was accepting his first award, he went up there and he made him put on this like sash and then like stuck this ribbon to him. It was great.
Yeah. Some people were drank a lot of liquor.
Yeah.
But I heard so the drinks are pretty spendy, but I heard they were good on the liquor. So, like, what you're getting for your money was, you weren't getting something watered down. But, I was parched. I had been walking all day, going to the airport, so I just didn't feel like drinking that night. So, I was so thirsty. I wanted a water. The water, Carlos, for like a standard, like, just normal 12-ounce bottle of water, $5.
What?
$5 bottle of water.
My God, that water must, better be the best water you ever drank.
I had to. It tasted pretty damn good. But I downed it. Like, I was thirsty again. I'm like, no, I'm not going to drop another $5.
You're going to get, tap water? You going to add,
No, I don't think that was even an option either.
No, I went up there and I said, can I just get a cup of water? They're like, we don't have any. We only have bottles. And then I said, well, how much? They said, $5. I was like, darn it. So I was like, I waited. And then I literally had to get one at the end of the event. I couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah. No tap water? I'm pretty sure that's legal because they're trying to push those bottled waters. That's stupid, man. $5.
Right.
So that kind of stuff. Well, and they didn't have food, which is fine. The only thing I would say is like from an attendee perspective, like I was even asking you before, Gary, like, do you know what this is going to be like? Is there food there? Do I need to eat dinner ahead of time? So I would have just appreciated maybe a little bit more detail around like that aspect of designer toy, like not just the
Right.
location and when it starts, but just a little bit more of what to expect from like a food and drink perspective,
Sure.
just so I knew ahead of time. Because like it's fine, like I didn't mind that dinner wasn't there, but I kind of had to like poke you because like I don't really know, like do I need to eat food before I go or not?
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. I texted Miranda asking if there's gonna be food because I know in previous events there was some food provided, and but I had pretty much the same experience as you. I flew in that Friday. I arrived at the hotel around 6. The DTA started at 7. It was a 2-mile walk, so I just trekked it and grabbed a gross spicy hot dog on the way, and then I walked in. It's kind of what you said. Even though I was early, it was still pretty loud and dark in the main room, and so that brings us to the DTAs and our prediction pool. So here at the podcast, we ran a prediction pool. We had 35 participants, and I calculated, added everyone's tallies up, and so the average correct was only 4 correct, and I think there's like 17 categories. So as a whole, we did not fare too well. However, we do have someone who won with 8 predictions.
Oh,
And it
really?
was Yep, Graham Page, you won with 8 predictions. So congratulations. I'll reach out to you. I will send you a small gift package. So
A pennant.
congratulations on that. A pennant. I will send you a Marchand pennant, a Marchand
A
pin.
box full of pennants.
Not a box. I'm sure. I will see. All right, so now let's get back to the results of the event. The fan voted category. The artist of the year was Juan Muñez.
Oh,
And the prediction pool had Luke Chu winning.
cool.
So, yep. And the custom of the year award and fan voted was the BFU Baby Tech Armor by Quicks. And the prediction pool thought that Scott Tollison and Seriously Silly K were going to win for their custom of Krampus. Toy of the year and fan voted was Muguro by Mame Moyashi. And this was actually a pretty tight category in the prediction pool. Cause Companion was predicted to win at 20.6%.
They win.
No, Mama Mayoshi won.
Oh, okay, in that category.
Pay attention, Carlos.
No, but I'm paying attention, but I got confused with that. I'm glad that Mame Yoshi won. That's
Yeah.
a good.
Yeah.
I think that one.
Yeah.
I think that was a good win in my book. I was that one. I feel like I saw a lot of hype and excitement around that toy,
Yeah.
so that I thought was a good choice.
Yeah.
Plus, let's be honest, Cos doesn't give a shit about all these, so
No, he wouldn't have showed up there to accept it and all that crap. So no.
yeah, fuck that.
Plus, that Flayed version had been out previous years before, so I don't care if now it was an open edition or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel as if it should be available or up for
Yeah.
award.
I kind of agree with that. It seems like not really brand new. It's kind of new, but not really.
All right, I'm going to put you to the test, Teresa. You're probably reading off the same cheat sheet I am. You want to go for the next one?
Oh, I have to. Okay. So best toy store, and this one really surprised me too. The winner was Playhouse. Prediction was for Rotofuji. I can't remember. I remember I was taking this poll and I kept telling you I couldn't remember, Gary. It was either between that and My Plastic Heart.
Yeah.
For me personally, just because those are kind of the top 2 always in my mind. And like I know Playhouse, but
I don't
that
know.
one kind of came out of left field for me. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't either, but they had one, I think, 2 years ago. They won the same award, so they took it back again this year. And so that brings us to Best Online Toy Store, and that award went to Rotofuji, who also was the predicted winner.
Yeah. It makes me happy because I love Rotofuji. I felt a little sadness in my heart because I love My Plastic Heart as well. So
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
Love you all there. But
At this point, I would think Rotofuji's tired of winning. So
I was going to say, they posted a picture and they won this a lot. So
yeah, they've won quite a few. I mean, 7 years in, I'm going to say they possess 10 of them.
wow.
Yeah, they have a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
All right. Who won Best Blog?
Best blog went to the Toy Chronicle. And
Yep.
that category, Gary, that hurts for me, for you, and podcasts. One, because it's called Best Blog, which I think is deceiving, right?
I agree.
Sure.
That you podcasts get plugged into it. And I love Toy Chronicle. I voted for them. Sorry, guys. But like, I don't know. To me, blogs and podcasts are very different things. And I understand that there's issues with having enough to fill a category and all that. But like, I go to Toy Chronicle for like teasers and release info, and this thing is coming. Like, it's very much specific articles about a specific, piece or toy or that kind of stuff. Whereas like a podcast is more, I don't know, you're listening to kind of people talk about their opinions and different topics and stuff. It's two very different things.
Yeah,
it is. But I gotta say, when they mentioned our name as one of the finalists, like, really great reception from the crowd. So that felt good.
That's really cool. But I agree with Teresa that a blog is a blog and a podcast is a podcast. They should, there's enough podcasts that they could do a category for bad podcasts.
I think so, but the problem with the fan vote is they want to have 12, and I think I can't even probably think of 12 blogs anymore.
Yeah.
And then there's certainly probably maybe 5 or 6 actual podcasts, so I can see why they combine the two, but even if next year they were to change it to maybe best media or something like that, I still don't think that a podcast would have much of a chance at someone who's doing it daily.
Yeah,
right.
But being noticed and appreciated and all that that makes it all worth it. So
yeah. I don't know. Like, I also wonder, like, if I don't know, 12 seems like a lot. Like,
yeah, 12 seems like
that is a lot.
And like, because I remember having to go in and vote, and I was like, oh my god, like, this is a lot, like, to pick from. And in some cases, it was difficult, right? Because, like, which one do I pick? But, and I don't even know too, like the process of submissions and all of that, like how many they get or whatnot. But I almost wonder, like, could they narrow that number down to make it like
that would be awesome.
They should, because the panel is down to 9. So why fan voted is 12? I'm not sure.
I don't know, like 5. 5 would be, I don't know. I just
5 or 6. 5 or 6 would be awesome.
I agree.
And then that way, like, they could split things out a little bit more specifically, or I don't know, maybe do more categories that typically don't have enough to fill or something like that. I don't know. I just think.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a weird thing to be in the best blog category. But again, it's awesome that people were nice enough to nominate.
Yeah, no, that's very much appreciated.
Yeah.
All right. So panel voted as far as Designer Toy Awards go. The Artist of the Year this year was John Paul Kaiser, and that was awesome. And the predicted was thought to be Jason Freeney.
Yeah, I was very happy for John Paul Kaiser.
Oh yeah, great guy.
So I mean, all these categories, it's hard, right? Because you're looking through and you're like, all these are great things for their own reason. All these are great people. So it's always hard to kind of have to pick and choose or whatever.
Yeah, because you mostly like them all, like all of them, and you want all of them to win. But
right.
It's a competition, and that's the rules. Yeah. But it's awesome.
It's the rules.
Congratulations. Yeah. He's being, I remember when he started, like, being a customizer, and it's come a long way. It's a good thing.
All right, Toy of the Year, Teresa.
Toy of the Year. Toy of the Year was King Corpse by James Groman and Instinct Toy, and that was actually what everyone predicted. Yep. So, and that also was one that I thought that was going to be one of the top ones to pick, and I was super excited because I think that's a figure, again, that got a lot of hype, a lot of love, and while it's not necessarily 100% my aesthetic, the sculpt on it and the design behind it is fantastic.
And James, I'm sure you met him. He's just a super cool guy, but he's also like a toy rock star at this point.
He's a rock star, dude. What makes him a rock star is that he's truly a super awesome person.
Yep.
Yeah, he was super, super nice to talk to. And that's how I kind of learned a little bit more about that Gotcha series he's working on and everything, and found out he was from Ohio, and that's where I was born. So I like talking about Ohio stuff with Ohio people. So, but yeah, he super, super great guy. That was super exciting. And I think they had their trophy sitting at the Instinct Toy booth all weekend.
Yeah, they did. So. Yeah, several people had their awards.
Yeah, why didn't you stick yours at your booth?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
We'll show off.
No, I'm not a show off, but I don't know. It didn't cross my mind really. I knew it was safe at the hotel. I didn't want to leave it at the booth. I knew I was going to be going to the after party the night after. I don't know. Just
I
sort of
guess
felt like not.
we jumped ahead and told people you won something.
Yes, I did. So yeah, I brought home the award for Custom of the Year. So for Luca and Tapestry. So that was very unexpected, but very much appreciated for the panel to vote me, and it was a very tight, very amazing group of finalists. So yeah, very shocked by it, but also it was nice to receive.
Nice.
Yay!
dude.
I was super
Yeah,
excited
thanks.
for you because we were sitting together, and then all of a sudden I realized it was a category you're in, and they said your name. I was like, oh my gosh! So I was
To be
excited for you.
I know, and you were taking photos of me up there, but you never got one of me of actually holding the award on
Yeah.
stage.
So like everyone else, they were acting like the Grammys or whatever, and they had I forget who it was, but someone was up there and kind of the trophy hander at her, but for some reason, like they hid yours.
They couldn't find it. Yeah, once I exited stage, they handed it to me, so I did receive the award.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't a scam
yeah.
or anything.
Yeah. So and the predicted for Custom of the Year again was going to be Krampus.
It's a pretty cool toy. I'm a big fan of yours. It's awesome.
Best DIY of the year, it went to The Blank by Huck G, and that was predicted as well.
Okay, for that one, come on, dude. Like every year is the same, like the done and the money, a bit. So for this year, it makes complete and utter sense that he won because
Yeah,
It's like the only new thing that's
it's
come
the
out,
only
really.
thing.
that and the Whoop Bear.
Yeah. Well, and
It's the same old every year.
Yeah.
Stuff that's super old. I think this category is something they can get rid of,
Yeah.
and they can introduce something new. I know they were talking about maybe best sculpt or something like that.
There you go. Like best sculpt would be awesome because then
Yeah.
all these people like George, like Holus,
Yeah.
like silly. Now I'm the
Seriously, silly K.
seriously serious.
you all
Like
in her
this-
name.
There's amazing sculptures. Like,
Yeah.
why not just take away that best blank because it's just like like beating a dead horse. Which
Right.
luckily, there was a chance for Huck to get his blank for this year, which was awesome. But there's all these other possibilities like the best sculpture.
Yeah, I think DIY's run its course. I think it's time to retire that category.
Yeah.
They've done that with plenty of other categories: best plush, best collaboration, best self-produced. Those aren't around anymore. So
No,
I think DIY can go.
maybe bring it back in a couple of years if there's enough new stuff that warrants that to come back. But if not, there's plenty of other cool probable categories that would be awesome.
Agreed. So best license went to Mondo's Iron Giant by Big Shot Toy Works and Mondo. The predicted was Madballs.
Yeah.
I love Iron
And then-
Giant. That's like
Oh, so
one of my favorite G-rated movies. Special place in my heart. I love that movie.
I got I got Iron Giant stuff all over my house. I got the closet full of Iron Giant toys. I'm looking at the 20-inch Trendmasters Iron Giant now in my son's room. He's got probably a 6-foot vinyl poster of the Iron Giant. I got the marquee from the. It's needless to say, it's one of my favorite animated movies of all time.
It's so good. Do you cry every time? Because you can admit it. It's like a super sad.
I cry easily in a lot of movies. It's happy moments make me tear up. I will tear up from a Hallmark commercial. I'm one of those guys that can. I will tear up just from watching those. Those anything that's feel good.
Yeah.
Like an old couple still holding hands in their 80s. Like anything feel good like that just melts my heart, and I'll get like a little. Like when I watch movies with my wife, she knows like all this crap that will make me tear up, and she'll stare at me. It's so annoying, but she'll stare at me because she knows I'm like my eyes are probably filled with tears, and I don't sob or anything, but I am easily and emotionally affected by like feel good moments. So yeah, I rom-coms and coming of age movies and all of that crap will hit me. I love a good montage, like Love Actually, all of that stuff. It's just yeah. So Iron Giant will get me. Got even something like Trolls will get me. I just
it's a cute movie.
Yeah.
Tell me something. Does she have like a little vial where she keeps your little tears?
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be on sale at Designer Con this year.
Buy your real original tears from an artist.
Yeah. No, like I said, I just easily, I don't know. I have a real soft spot for happy moments and stuff like that. So yeah, it gets me. Best non-license goes to Darth Trump by Time Bandits and Special Ed Toys. Predicted, this is by far the tightest category of all the categories. Predicted was going to be the Forbidden Tech 63 by Quicks. You want to read miniseries, Teresa?
Sure. So for best miniseries, it was actually Gold Life by Huck G and Mighty Jax. So Huck actually got two wins. The prediction. Yeah, for miniseries, it's actually, we were talking about it, Gary and I, that it was a little weird because, like, when I hear miniseries, I'm picturing in my head mini, like size-wise, right? And
Blind box, 3 in size.
Size of the series,
but Gold Life's definitely like a much bigger. So I guess maybe mini, instead of meaning small, is maybe meant to mean multi. I don't know, but
I don't like it.
Yeah, so it was a little that threw me off a little bit, but super excited because I think they're, again, great figures.
Oh yeah, they definitely are.
Yeah, the prediction from the poll was Horrible Adorables for their vinyl series. I almost feel like throughout all these categories, like for my personal taste, that like I'd love certain other aspects of the designer toy world to be represented a little bit more. And if like, I don't know if miniseries needs to be split out or what, but I feel like you mentioned Blind Box, Gary, like there's a whole avenue of like that blind box scene of like cutesy, small type toys. And like, I wish there was like a category specifically meant to kind of capture a winner from that side of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like if it's going to be called miniseries, the intent of it, in my head at least, should mean mini from a size perspective. But
yeah,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's a tough thing. It's one of those.
Oh, here, I need to go look at what the description was on the website for miniseries. Category acknowledges excellence in 2-inch to 5-inch minifigures that have been produced in multiple quantities. So
okay, so up to 5-inch.
Okay,
yeah.
So I get that. Okay, so in that respect, I mean, miniseries makes sense, but I almost want like pure blind box, like straight up blind box series.
Exactly, that makes sense.
But again, there's probably not enough of those every year.
Are you serious? So... There's blind boxes all the time.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I don't know.
I know what you mean, Gary, but
I mean, like the Tokidokis of the world, like they're not, they're not even in here, but Tokidoki's huge. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, and maybe it's just because I have a different sort of avenue I collect for, but like that cutesy, I don't know, just like that aspect. I'm like, where's all the stuff I have? Like, it needs awards too. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I don't know that they could do a best cute category, which you would love, but I don't know how they could pull that one off. That's so subjective.
I know.
All right, so best non-plastic went to Omen Fade Wood by Course Toys, and this was actually the predicted winner too.
To be honest, these wooden thing they're done in a CNC machine, so they're not actually sculpted by hand. Right. And I think it's a little bit as cool as they look. A plush is actually like hands, like you can do a sewing machine, but there's more craftsmanship to it. Yep. So again, it's probably the wooden piece won because it's more like I don't know, it's like a stronger looking piece, but in all fairness, there's not much of a, you do the 3D sculpt and then just put it in the CNC machine. And I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna complain about this and tell me that you're an idiot, but it's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So I think it's congratulations to the winners, but it's unfair to be packed into like a there should be a plush category. But again, like there may not be enough
Yeah.
to warrant the whole like category.
Yeah, and yeah, it's hard. It's like apples to oranges.
Okay, Best Resin, The Astronaut by Alex Pardee won. So that was between Alex Pardee and Toy Cube, and the predicted was a 5-inch infected dunny. Best Sofubi was the Bake Kajira by Candy Bolton. I know I did not say that correctly. I butchered it. I apologize, Candy, and anyone from Japan.
Like you could do that.
That was predicted to win as well.
That one's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Best Vinyl and Plastic was the Do Not Disturb by Course Toys. Predicted was Meguro. Breakthrough Artist this year was Candy Bolton, and she was the one that our pool predicted would win too. And lastly, Brand of the Year went to Mighty Jax. And and actually the prediction pool had a tie between Kid Robot and Unbox. And Mighty Jax was like a percentage behind them. So that was a real tight 3-way tie between the three of them, and Mighty Jax brought it home.
I love
So
Unbox.
that was-
I love Unbox.
Like
Unbox.
Yeah, they're doing good
It's
stuff.
one of my favorite brands like nowadays.
Yeah, I actually kind of like Unbox has probably been one of my more favorites recently, but they've been releasing a lot of stuff that's right up my alley. Like they're doing the Greenies and the Elfies with 2, and I'm trying to think of what else they've been doing. They did the Dinos with Ziki, Ziqi. So like the Unbox has been one that I've been following more recently, and like everything they keep pumping out has been great. So I think they were my vote or prediction, just because from my personal experience, I've been following a lot that they've been generating and really liking it. But I know a lot of people love the Mighty Jax kind of split skeleton stuff they've been working on too, and all of that looks great as well. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's always hard. Again, all the brands in the category I think are great brands for their own reasons. So
Yeah. So all in all, congratulations to all the winners. Again, thanks to Clutter for putting on the event every year. I know it's not easy to one, host it and put it together, and then also deal with a lot of the negativity that kind of swirls around the event every year. But they know that come Designer Toy Award night, it brings the community together. Everyone's happy. Everyone's having a great time, and all of the winners are super appreciative. And so, Clutter, thank you very much for doing what you do. And that wraps up Designer Toy Awards. I think it's going to wrap up our episode.
Nice. That's a good one.
alrighty.
So, you guys each want to take a brief moment and let everyone know where they can find you? Teresa, why don't you go first?
Ladies first.
Alrighty. Well, my name is Teresa Hawkins, and if you'd like to find me, check me out on Instagram. My username is TMHawk24.
All right.
Carlos East from the Beast Brothers. You can find me at the Beast Brothers on Instagram at thebeastbrothers.com. And you know it, Gary. You know it.
Oh,
Sure.
Chamako.
I'm sure. At my name is Chamako. You can always follow him. If you want to cry, tear up, watch his videos. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I am Gary Ham. You can find me at superham.com or Gary Ham on Instagram. This has been the Marsham Toy Hour. We do this every week, not because we have to, because we want to. Until our next transmission, we're signing off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.